Welcome to lecture 19. In this lecture we will discuss another very important aspect of the change management. In the last lecture we discussed the visioning exercise, and we have seen that visioning exercise and visioning for a city is very important for city managers, and on that process the managing conflicts is also inevitable, because conflicts arises whenever there is a change and whenever there is a approach to make the change in city or in development on any organization. So, today we will discuss the how to resolve the conflicts for managing any change for urban sector. So, in this lecture we will discuss the relation of the conflicts with change management, nature of conflicts, what kind of conflicts are there, and the changing process and the conflict management styles, and what are the do's and don'ts in the change management paradigm. So, now in the change perspective, in last few lectures we have told you that the earlier conventional perspective and the change perspective is different for the urban sector. In the earlier time, like 20-30 years back it was the organization used to act as a corporation. Now the orientation of the urban government should be citizen centric. So, urban local self government must be citizen centric. Earlier it was policy centric, now it is demand centric. It is more bottom up. Earlier the policy was basically a top down approach, now it is a bottom up. Earlier it was a employee centric or the staff centric, now again it is a people centric, that whatever we do it is for the people. Now in this perspective the change is inevitable. You have seen that the organizations or community or individual which has not changed themselves, they could not survive. In the urban local government also the change is even inevitable. So, whenever there is a change there is a conflicts. For example, whenever the first time the computerization came in not only urban government but also in the service delivery sector, the staff or the people initially resisted the computerization of the system, but after some time they accepted the system and they have mastered the system, and now you can understand that all the banking system, municipal system, all the public service mechanism, most of them are running on computerized system based on e-governance. So, in change perspective the conflicts is also inevitable in the initial stage, but if you can resolve the conflict you can come to a better situation where you can make the progress, you can achieve the short term goals and the short term achievement, so that the change is become possible. So, let us see what kind of factors are applicable in an organization for the change. Now, this is a schematic diagram of an organizational factors which make the changes. Now, you can see we start from the structural factor. The structural factor basically it is the structure of the organization which makes the changes. For example, when the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act came, the whole structure of the municipal government changed, and because of that a change of job, change of working style, change of the task and the responsibility, everything got changed. Second is the people factor. Based on the perception, attitude, values and motivation, the organization might have to change. Please remember or please follow, there are few organizations, because of their demand of the people or the attitude of the people who are their customers or the end users or the buyer, the organizations had to change their service delivery, had to change their systems, so that they can reach to the people for the better service delivery. Similarly, for our case the people also is a very important factor for making change. Third is the technological factor. When technology comes in place, the modern technology, just now I talked about e-governance. So, based on the e-governance, now most of the public services are provided to the common citizens. So, technology, when the new technology comes in force, there has to be some changes, and this technology can change method, techniques or processes. And also there is a change at the task level. When you say task factor, it is the individual level So, we need variety, authority, significance, feedback. So, at the individual level, when the task is concerned, there could be also change. So, for that you might have to give the training or orientation or sensitization for any organization. So, in short, if there is any structural change in the system, in the administrative system, in the organizational system, there could be change. If there is any changes in the people or the customer or the end users attitude or expectation, there could be change. Similarly, in the technological factor, technology can change the method, system, process, everything. And if there is a change at the task level, because of some reason the particular task which was there earlier and now it need to be changed for a different process or with different method, that particular person need to be trained, need to be changed accordingly. So, these are the factors which make the change in any organization like municipal government. Now, if this change comes in the municipal government, there are conflicts. Now, please see that how conflict arises. So, conflict arises when there are two different points of view that we know generally, but those could be like perceptions of goal, situations, roles, objectives. I give you an example. If I write that we want to be a green and clean city. Now, the meaning of green and clean city for me and for any common people or for any other person could be different. So, what exactly is the meaning that should be written? Now, this type of perception of any goal or target or final destination also sometimes make conflicts. Situations, for any demanding situation there could be conflict. If any municipality, for example, wants to rehabilitate some people, some slum areas, some existing settlement, there could be conflicts. So, situations also make some conflicting situation, resistance, unrest, etc. There could be conflicting roles. There we have found that in municipalities sometimes some particular job is not done and people are demanding to get that job done, but municipality is unclear that who is going to do that particular job. Person A is telling that it is not my job, person B is telling it is not my job, person C is telling it is not my job, or vice versa. Some groups or some people are telling that yes, this is my job. So, both kind of conflicts could be there when there is a lack of clarity in the role expectation. And objectives, the precise objectives are written just to make the actions clear. If it is not clear and different people, different groups, different sections have different objectives, that could make a significant conflict in an organization. So, when you make your vision and objectives, it should be clear, it should be communicated to all the sections, all the groups, all the people. So, that is the reason. Now, let us see that how people change. It is very important and exciting to see that how people change. Now, basically people change through a curve change curve where there are basically 4 stages. This stage 1, please see this diagram, this is stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 and stage 4 or the final stage, and you can see that my left hand side is the past and the right hand side is the future. So, 2 stages are there in the past and 2 stages are there in the future. The first stage, what is written here as a denial. So, denial is basically saying no to that particular job or to particular work or particular change. So, denial is associated with fear. So, what kind of fears are there, I will talk later, and then after some time it becomes a type of anger, because people do not want to change, do not want to do that particular thing, and because there is a pressure, there is a mandate to do the change or do that particular function, they become there are resistance and there are differences. So, next stage is the resistance. They try to resist, they try to make unrest, they try to protest, they make bandh, they make strikes, everything. But after some times when this situation of resistance does not work, so there is a situation of sadness or resentment within the people or the staffs, then in course of time there is an acceptance, and then they go towards exploration. Some of them they try to try new things, or some of them they tend to try new things, they try to explore new things, and because of this exploration, once they explores and become achievable on those small projects or small tasks, they become relieved from their fear, from their angry or unrest or the resistance, and they create larger interest, they encourage other people, and they develop liking. So, stage 3 is the exploration, which it is a time taking process, because exploration starts from individual, groups, and then the whole community or the organization. Then when the significant amount of the people they can do that particular function, there is a joint commitment in the organization, and a larger achievement is there, and a organizational enjoyment is also there. So, in stage 3 it is the shorter achievement is there, and stage 1 and 2 these are the initial stages. So, please do not forget these 4 stages: denial, resistance, exploration, and commitment. Now, what is our role in this 4th stage? Now, the resistance comes from the fear of insecurity, the fear of new skills and relationship, the lack of clarity about the change and new job performance. When the first time computerization came, that time people became fear that whether the computerization will take their job away, whether they will be able to perform in the new situation or not, those kind of fear was there. So, the appropriate leaders can see only the value in the resistance, because people want to resist because they want to reflect their learning, they want to challenge the new change, and after some time they can explore, they want to explore. That is why people or the managers and the leaders, they see the value in the resistance. Now, what is your role as a leader? At the denial stage, your role is to mitigate the fear, confirmed about the change, listen and discuss. Since at this stage a significant amount of anger and fear is there, the role of a city manager will be to confirm that yes, this change is inevitable, be calm and quiet, and try to mitigate the fear and strengthen the confirmation, and listen to them very carefully, passionately, responsively, and discuss with them that what could be the way out to come out from the fear, and assure them that their security or the other interest will be fulfilled, that will be assured. Then only they will come to the further stages. At the resistance stage, your job will be resistant, listen to others, respect to their feelings, give feedback and support. So, your role to listen responsively, passionately is continuing in the resistance stage as well, and you respect to their feelings and their need and demand, and also give feedback and support. That is what is required at the resistance stage. After that, when people try to explore new thing and want to do on their job situation, then your role will be explore present status, give responsibilities, that is delegate, clarify the objective and the job, performance feedback. So, these are the small tasks you provide and delegate to the people, so that they can do and achieve their the small task and become fulfilled. In the commitment stage, when you find that some amount of people are doing and some people they are not doing or they are hesitant, so slowly this process should be continued, and after some time there could be a joint commitment. So, at that stage your role will be let others enjoy. So, you take everybody in that enjoyment and the celebration, rewards and incentive. You can develop a system of incentives by giving recognition in terms of certificates or in terms of the felicitation, etc., and you can make a shared commitment and targets. So, in this method, in this changing process, you have seen that that conflicts are inevitable. So, what are the conflict management styles? That is what we are going to discuss. So, there are 8 distinct styles what you can do for the conflict management. The first is the resignation, is basically why that you are just not doing anything, you are saying that okay, I mean you are okay, and you are not going into the fighting mode to the conflicting party. Appeasement is that you are giving something material or some other kind of gift to make other parties, conflicting parties, silent. Confrontation is that you are going into confrontation with your maximum strength and making the other party understandable that yes, in the conflict situation you have the strength to win. Compromise is that you come to the discussion table and you compromise in some of the elements and give some of the element. Withdrawal, that you withdraw from the process and you do not participate in the process. Diffusion is that you try to diffuse and dilute the situation so that the things become little delayed, so that after some time you can take up the job. Arbitration, you can go to a legal method and the arbitration method, so that you can take legal action. Negotiation is the final method where you can call the person or the conflicting parties, discuss in the table and try to make a win-win situation to make the negotiation. Now, how this every methods are placed in different situation, let us see those in a diagrammatic method. In this diagram, in this x axis we are showing the cooperation element, and in the y axis we are showing the assertiveness, or how much assertiveness you are showing for the conflicting parties. Now, withdrawal and resignation, these are neither in a more cooperative situation, neither assertiveness situation. The arbitration and compromise is having some amount of cooperation and some amount of assertiveness. That means you are asserting your power, also at the same time you are asserting, you are cooperating with the party. In the confrontation, you are asserting your power and authority, whereas in the diffusion and the appeasement you are not showing the assertiveness or the power or authority, you are just satisfying them. With sometimes gift, sometime in cash or in kind, or what kind of satisfaction in your situation. So, these are not a assertiveness situation, and negotiation is the ultimate objective or ultimate situation where the amount of the cooperation, amount of the assertiveness, both are equal and both the parties they get a win-win situation and the satisfaction. So, this situations are there in your organization as well. So, please try to follow, try to identify the methods what I have discussed here, that and how it is related to your situation, then it will be very clear to understand. Now, at the end I come to some of the some of the prescriptions about the do's and don'ts in change management and the conflict management, because most of you are working in the urban sector and going to work in the urban sector. So, these are the final prescription. Let me discuss one by one. So, in the change management paradigm, do act, do not wait to act, because if you wait to act, some other person will act and they will take the advantage of the change paradigm. Do align yourself with the citizens and the change, and do not malign your citizens. If you are the city manager, try to understand the citizens demand and the aspirations and try to align with them, do not malign. Do try new things, do not try just once, do try many times. Be resilient, do not be resistant. Why resilience comes in the picture of the change management? Because in the change management there is a stages of denial, resistance, exploration and commitment. So, in the stages of the denial and the resistance, you need to be resilient and stronger enough to withhold the initial thrust which is coming from the conflict situation. That is why you have to be resilient mentally and do not be resistant to the conflicting situation. In the changing situation, please make questions that why you are not going to do, why you are not accepting the change, what is the problem if you accept the change. Those kind of questions you have to make during the changing situation, but do not attack the people. Try to understand their situation, try to listen their situation. Look ahead, do not focus behind. Please look ahead that what can be your benefit if you accept the change, and what will be the benefit of the people, what will come after if they accept the change. So, make them understand about those changes and the benefit, and do not focus behind that what was there earlier, what was their benefit, not that. Move quickly to the next stage, do not drag your feet. So, if you want to move quickly you have to take your whole team together, the citizens together. Commit to the new. There are certain tasks and jobs related to the change management. So, you have to commit to the new task and new job, and do not remain committed to the old jobs. Challenge the status quo. You have to make question that why it is required to continue the current practice, why not we change this. If you find a problem, issues in your urban local government or any situation where the public service delivery is delayed or not or denied, ask why people will not get that public service. So, ask the status quo, do not comply or continue the status quo. Then do plan for the targets, for the achievements. Do not plan indefinitely. A plan is a time bound manner, is a time bound exercise. So, plan in a time bound manner, and then analyze the situation. Do not over analyze the situation so that there is no result. So, to get the result you have to analyze the situation. Bring energy in the individual, in the groups and in the organization. Do not misdirect the energy. Sometimes whenever you see conflict, wherever you see the resistance, it is a amount of energy which is there in the groups and the organization. So, try to redirect the energy into positive and the productive direction. Do not misdirect the energy into negative and the other direction. So, we have seen in India that several examples are there where the energy of the organization, energy of the people are misdirected towards a negative effect. As a result of that, either the organization they lose they lost the customer base, or they lost the investment, whatever. So, please direct your energy or the organizational energy in a positive and a productive way. Then please do give your all, do not give up. Then celebrate the success, and do not linger on your failure. If there is a failure, definitely develop on the failure and try more. Do step up, do not step aside. Do say for now, do not say forever. So, whatever the task is there ahead of you, please say that for now and do it now. And do update your skills. Do not think that current skills are good enough. I have seen that in urban governance and in the public service delivery, the people are working their job situation based on the knowledge and skill which they have learned during their college life or during their education system, but after that they have never updated or improved their knowledge and skill set. So, go to a training if you find that some training is required for your upgradation of the knowledge. Go to an exposure visit, talk with the people who are the change manager, talk with the people, interact with the and share their experience of the leaders and the change manager. Then only you will be updated and you will be another change and manager in the change management paradigm. So, update your skills. Do not fear to take risk. Risk is a very important part to progress. So, do not fear, do take risk and do not fear failure. If you take risk, there is a certain amount of possibility to become failure, but failure is not the failure for the life. After the failure you can try next time also. Try to add value in people's life, in the organization, in the group. A city manager can mix a different lifestyle, different style of the work in the organization. So, you can add value how you work or how your team works, how your organization delivers the subject. do not value the past, always do not be staying in the past, that how my organization was there in the 20 years back, it was nice, and whatever now and future whatever we are doing, it is bad. This kind of thinking or the perceptions are always taking organization in the backward direction, and be flexible with the new ideas, flexible with the new actions, flexible with the new policies, and do not be inflexible. That is what is required from you, and some amount of innovation is also required. Now, innovation is something which is the some idea which enables you to make some work in different way. Maybe in the current way or the current paradigm or with the current methodologies you are not able to do that work properly, or there are some difficulty. If you innovate, if you can come out with some ideas which can solve the problem, which can do the same job differently, that is what is required for the innovation. Now, innovation is a practice, innovation may not be a kind of a quality which people acquire during the birth. So, do learn from the innovation what other people have tried from other case studies and examples. In the short lecture, it is not possible to show the innovations and all the good practices. It is your duty to see some of the best practices and case studies and then innovate. Do not instigate if others want to innovate. So, instigation for the innovation is not required. We have seen instances that people want to innovate and other people want to stop their innovation by instigating, by stopping their innovation. So, do not do that. Contribute in the innovation, contribute in the whole journey towards the change, do not contribute to the resistance. So, try to think that whether you are the part of the solution or the part of the problem. So, always be in the part of the solution, try to contribute in the progress of the organization. So, at the last, this is the one slogan I would like to share. So, managing, please read this very carefully, managing change is not enough. Today's an exacting world imposes a new expectation that we actively seize change and make it work for us, recognize it as a force in its own right and harness it, exploit it and master it. Now, please see the important keywords here, that managing change is not enough. If you are part of managing change in your organization right now, it is not enough, because the world is changing, the expectation of the people are changing. In this expectation change and the changing world, you have to harness day by day and every time the changes, exploit the changes and master it. Then only you can survive in the changing paradigm as an individual, as a family, as a group, as an organization and as a city, and then only you will be able to create a livable city for yourself, for your next generation. So, with this I would like to conclude our discussion. So, today we discussed very important part of the change management, that how to resolve the conflict situation. So, we started the discussion with the visioning, and in the change management and the visioning, the conflict is inevitable because people do not want to accept the change in the first stage. So, we have discussed and we have shown the stages of the changes, how people change. There are 4 stages. There are 2 stages in the beginning, like denial stage and the resistance stage, where people deny to accept any change, to do some new job, and then they resist the changes, and after some time they try to explore, that is the 3rd stage, and the 4th stage they try to commit something. In the exploration stage, some of the people they try to explore new things and try to get some achievement for small work, and after some time, if a significant amount of people or the sections they perform better job, they achieve something, then there is a commitment. So, this change curve is very important. In this change curve, we have seen that there are various methods of the conflict management styles, like you can and these styles depends on that how much cooperation you are giving and how much assertiveness you are giving. Based on the cooperation and assertiveness, there could be various kinds of conflict management style. So, you can use various conflict management styles based on your situation. So, we have seen that if you use maximum cooperation, you can appease them or you can pacify them without using your power, and if you want to use your power and authority, you can confront with them, otherwise you can call them for a negotiation and you can use your cooperation and your assertiveness both. Or if you want to do not want to do any of the thing, either you go for a silent mode, like you want to you just you just want to avoid the situation, or you can go to a kind of a arbitration mode, legal mode. Those kind of styles are there. And in the last we have discussed few don'ts and do's and don'ts for the change management. We have seen that be part of the change. If you want to be part of the change, you have to innovate, you have to excel, you have to contribute, you have to think, you have to analyze, you have to be part of the change, you have to harness, you have to upgrade your skill, and do not be part of the negative things, do not be part of the backwardness, do not look back, do not focus too much on the back, always be proactive and looking in the forward. So, with this I conclude this lecture. Next lecture we will discuss very important part of the change management, that is leadership and team building. Whatever we discussed this week, the change management, visioning and conflict resolution, this will not be successful if there is no better leadership. So, what are the parameters and indicators of the leadership, and how a good leader can make a team building, and the team building can achieve their target of the organization, that is what we are going to discuss in the next lecture. So, for today I thank you again for attending the lecture. Thank you very much.